Hey everybody, welcome back to Runaway Roads. Today I'm going to do an upgrade to my truck that I've been looking forward to. I'm going to put some Timbrens on my truck, and let's talk about why I chose the Timbrens over some airbags. Let's get into it. Since I got my new truck a couple months ago, I've been thinking about doing some sort of suspension enhancement just to help support some extra weight that might be on whatever kind of trailer that I'm going to be pulling. This truck is a 2024 Ram 2500, so it has the coil springs. And so far I've been pulling the camper with it, and it handles the weight of the camper quite well. It does, sag a little bit in the back. I mean, obviously it goes down, you put some weight on it. We got about 1,000 pounds of tongue weight on the front of our camper, plus whatever weight we put in the back of the truck, maybe some firewood, bicycles, and chairs and whatever, so I could have another 200 or 300 pounds back there. The truck handles it fine, but I also have a car hauler trailer, so to put a vehicle on that, you get a lot of tongue weight and that sort of thing. So I've been thinking about doing something, either some Timbrens or airbags to the back of the truck, and I decided to go with some Timbrens. So I reached out to Etrailer, because they're my go-to whenever I need some sort of upgrade for my truck or something for the suspension. So look them up, they can definitely help you out with that. And they have airbags, they have Timbrens, and they have other options as well, but I was looking at doing one of the two. So I've used airbags in the past, and I've used Timbrens in the past, and I figured this time around I just want to keep it simple, easy, and I wanted to go back and use some Timbrens. But this time around, I'm going to use a little slightly different Timbren than I used before. So it comes in the box there, and it comes with the hardware. So you just kind of bolt the Timbren on there. So this has the double convoluted style versus my old one that has just the one big style there. So and these worked well. I used this back when I had a 2019 Ram 3500, and to be quite honest, that truck, and I put a truck camper on it. It was a single rear wheel, and it did not have any overload springs. The Rams don't, upper overload springs anyhow. So when I put that camper on the back, that whole back of that truck was just bouncy, and I did not like that at all. So I got these Timbrens, and these are the severe duty Timbrens, made for truck campers or salt spreaders and stuff like that. And they're very stiff, but when I put those on that truck, it was a game changer as far as being able to haul that truck camper in the back of the truck safely going down the highway, and you hit bumps and that sort of thing. It made such a huge difference, so I really like those. And this time around, I just wanted to go back and get some more Timbrens. These have a little bit more of a progressive style rate to them, so they actually absorb the weight about the same, actually a little bit more weight than what these will hold, but being progressive, it's not quite as a firm ride. So I'm looking forward to putting those on. I had debated on going with the airbags, something similar to this, which I've had on my other trucks before, and airbags are nice. They both have their function and their purpose, in my opinion. They both work well for different purposes, really. The airbags are nice because you can adjust the weight. You can, if you need to raise the back end up a little bit to help your headlights go down, you can do that. But there are some downfalls to airbags, in my opinion. They're more difficult to install. Timbrens are just super easy to install. You just remove the factory jounce bumper, bump stop in there, and just bolt these in place. So they're super easy. Once you bolt them on, it's set it and forget it. You don't have to, there's no maintenance to them. You just bolt them on and they're ready to go anytime you put a heavy load in the back of the truck. So, but unlike airbags, you're supposed to keep at least 5 PSI in there. And when the truck's unloaded, and then when you put some weight in the back, you gotta set it to whatever PSI that you need for the airbags, which can be great. But then if you're taking weight on and off the back of your truck, you don't want a bunch of air in the airbags, because then it makes the truck ride terribly firm, from my experience. So then there are issues. They could have a potential leak and that sort of thing. I've never had a leak in a bag. They've always been very tough, but they could leak around the fitting and that sort of thing too. So Something you have to kind of keep in mind. If you have airbags, there could be some more maintenance, but they do work great for the right purpose. You know, and if you go to Etrailer, they have a wide selection of them, because I've gone through them and ordered from Etrailer before for that. So for whatever style truck, and I've had them on different trucks. But Etrailer also has, you know, they have the Timbrens and the Sumo springs and a bunch of other stuff too. So, you know, whatever you're looking for, go to them online. I'll put a link below to these Timbrens that I'm going to install in this truck, because you know, it's a 2500 Ram, like I said, so you can just go to that link and be right there if you need them, or you can just take that link and, you know, look up whatever model vehicle that you have. They'll help you, or just give them a call and they'll guide you to the, you know, right product that you need. But so I'm really excited to put these on. Like I said, they just go on super easy. That's one of the big things that I like about it. You can put them on in 30 minutes or so. Just a matter of a couple bolts, and once they're on there, they're good to go. These actually come with a spacer. So depending on how much spacing that you want, you can put that spacer in there and it'll drop it down even further. Or if you just don't want the spacer, then you can just put it on like the regular standard style setting. So that way, I believe it'll leave my truck, if I just do it this way, about an inch worth of gap down there. So that way when I'm driving the truck unloaded, it'll still have a nice, comfortable ride. And then, you know, when I put some weight on the back and some tongue weight or whatever, it'll just set right back down on top of the axle and give it the support that the truck needs. So another thing that I really like about the Timbrens is there's just no adjustment. So once you just bolt them on, it's just set it and forget it. Unless you want to add the spacer, yeah, if you don't do that to begin with, you can do that later, but there's no adjustment, so you're just ready to go at all times. Unlike an airbag system, you're going to have to adjust the pressure up and down, whether you're loaded, unloaded, how much pressure you need in there, and that sort of thing. So that can be kind of a hassle. Over Timbrens, just super easy. And the other thing that I really like about the Timbren is being just a thick rubber. It's more shock absorbent than like an airbag system. They can be a little bit more bouncy from my experience. You know, an airbag is basically just kind of like a balloon, so it can be a little bit bouncier. And the Timbrens are going to absorb the shock better, so I really like that. And they're actually more cost effective, because they are typically less money than an airbag system. So you can save some money there if that's what you're looking to do as well. That's about it. Their Timbrens are super easy, and let's go ahead and get to the install. As you can see, I'm underneath my truck. It is a Ram 2500, so it has the coil springs, so there's no leaf springs to be in the way. Basically, you just need to take this factory bump stop, or joust bumper as they call it. Just unbolt that, 2 bolts, one here and one on the other side. Bolt in the Timbren right in its place and be all set, ready to go. My particular truck does have a nice little flat spot here on the axle on both sides, so that way when the weight comes down on the truck, the Timbren will just sit flat on that axle. Now that I have the factory bump stop off, I'm just going to hold the Timbren up in place. Not sure if the bracket's going forward or backwards yet, but I'm going to just kind of bolt it on just like that. In my situation at the moment, I don't have room for the spacer. If you had a lift on the truck, you'd probably want to use the spacer. My truck is not exactly level in the driveway either, so I don't have as much space underneath it, but basically I'm just going to bolt the Timbren and the bracket right in place where the factory bump stop is. So now that I have the factory bump stop off, I just need to assemble the bracket and the Timbren. The Timbren has a washer inside there. So basically it comes with the hardware, long bolts and short bolts. Long bolts if you're using the spacer. I'm not, so I'm just going to run the short bolt up through the center of the Timbren. That's kind of the tricky part, is getting the bolt to go up through the washer. I'm going to use a little piece of tape just to hold that bolt in place. Just gonna, too much there. Just gonna wrap it around, and then that way the bolt doesn't fall down. I can line it up down in that hole just like that. Run that bolt through there, and then bolt it into the bottom of that bracket. Just so you know, there is a left and a right. As you can see, this one actually has a sticker. Left front. So this would be the front of the left one, and this would be the front of the right one. So the back sides have the sliding area, so you could just loosen that bolt, although you need to take it out to take the factory one off. So there is a difference based on the offset of the bracket. So pay attention to that. Other than that, super easy. Let's go ahead and get them on. Go ahead, start one of these bolts. Put the Timbren up here. Slide it in place like that. Alright, well there it is. Timbren's bolted up, ready to go. Like I said, my truck is not level, so there's not a whole lot of space underneath the Timbren at the moment, but it is progressive as far as the amount of rebound and shock that it gives, so it shouldn't affect the ride too much. And so let's go ahead and get the other side on. Super easy install, much easier than an airbag, I can tell you that. Now that I'm on level ground in the garage, you can see there's about an inch of space below the Timbren on each side. So that way there's still plenty of room for the suspension to still work, and it's not going to affect the ride of the truck unless there's a really hard bounce or unless there's weight on the back of the truck. All right, there you go. The Timbrens are installed. Super easy installation. It's 2 bolts on each side. Can't get much easier than that. Way easier than installing an airbag system. And they're going to work great for us, whether we're hauling the camper or pulling a car hauler trailer with a heavy car on it or whatever. So the back end of the truck's going to have plenty of support. The headlights are not going to be shining up in the sky, and be ready for some hauling. So I want to say thank you to Etrailer for sending us these Timbrens. And if you're interested in them, again, the link will be down below, so please check that out. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next time on Runaway Roses. Bye bye.